if you like to make a bench small like this, they're really nice for decorations. A lot of people put them on their front porches. You can put them in the house, you know, any place in your home that you decorate it for the holidays, even the seasons, fall, spring, summer, things like that. They're really, really nice little benches. Very, very inexpensive, I think, to actually make one. It's made out of 1 by 10 by 8 pine wood. Of course, you can pick it up pretty much anywhere, except the two sides here, and they're actually made out of a wooden fence board. And you can pick this up. This is only like, it's under $3 for a board. This is pretty rough. You can probably find something a little bit better. Of course, you'll have to sand it. But that's how I made it. But I run them through. I run it through a planer to go ahead and just plane them down to get it to smooth like this. That's what these two sides are built. This side and the other side's built, and this middle here is built. So you actually only need one board, and that one fence board would do all three boards. And then of course the top, the two legs here, you can see the two legs. Those are plenty of wood out of an 8-foot 1 by, plus you have some extra, you can do something else with it. Let me show you the amount of wood I got. This is all the wood right here. This is all we have. That's all we need for the project. Just a couple pieces. Now this holds a bottom board on, but you can always you can change the measurements on that. Okay, then you have the bottom board. Thing about these bottom boards now, if you look, I'll show you here in a second. Each board is actually cut on a 10-degree angle, so you're going to allow yourself to get that little bit of a kind of a tilt, like this back, and that's how I did the both sides. So actually, the bottom has a 10% or 10 degree, sorry about that, 10 degree on the bottom, and the top has a 10 degree too. That's the way the legs are on them. So they're basically going to go, you know, something like this. Okay, and then of course I drilled holes in it here so I can countersink the screws on the bottom, so you end up countersinking screws back here. But these measure out what they come out to, each board. I'm going to start at the top. The top board here is exactly 24 inches across here, and then 9 inches. What I did, I took the 1 by 10 and I cut it down and just gave myself an even number so I could square up these ends. So when I put the sideboards on them, they get a little bit more flush. And so this is 24 by 9. Now what I did is I measured in on the board itself. I measured in 4 inches, and then measuring 4 inches and put 2 lines. That's where your board's going to go. So if you put these boards on there, just butt them up against like this, okay, and then each board will be like that. So that's 4 inches up, and then make yourself a mark. So that's your top board. It's done. Okay, now you have your legs. Now you can cut these by hand. I cut them on a bandsaw, and they measure out. Let me see if I can get it up here for you. Okay, they measure out 1.5 inches across here, and then I measured 5 inches down here, so it comes out 5 inches. I put a mark all the way across, and then I measured 1.5 inches in over here, and I measured another 1.5 inches here. Okay, and then I went across here 3 inches. I went across here 3 inches. Okay, and then I took my square, and all I did was, you know, line those up right there, put marks on them, and then that gave me this this pattern. Okay, so both legs are cut exactly the same, and they're cut on 10. Oh boy, it's just what a day. It's 10-degree angle. So if you cut them on a table saw, look for the 10-degree, or if you cut them by hand, you can still use a hand saw, like a circular saw. You can still cut it, just turn it on 10, you know, a 10-degree. So the top and the bottom are cut on 10s, and you can see that, you know, you can cut 2 boards at the same time if you wanted to, but they run 18 inches long. Okay, across here they're 18 inches, and they're 9 inches here. So I'm keeping everything about 9 inches. Okay, so the next one, this goes into the center. Let me pull up this other one here. Let me see how I can do this. Now the next one would be if you can see that. Okay, the next one will be right here. So this one here is a 20-inch, and then what I did is I just used the leftover from the board up here, because I cut this down, and what I did, I cut it down to 4 inches. So I just cut the whole board down to 4 inches, so it wouldn't be down, because I think a board's a little bit longer than that. It's like 5-inch board, 5.25, something like that, and probably 5/8 thick. So I went ahead and just cut it down to an even number, and I went ahead and just used the whole 4-inch board all the way through. Okay, now each one of these on the ends here were cut off to a 10-degree angle too. The reason why is because, see, they'll kind of set, turn it this way, they'll kind of set with the way the legs are. So it measures out 20 inches long by 4 inches. Okay, and when you get 20 by 4, then you make sure you put your 10-degree angles on both sides, so they'll come out pretty decent. And let's see, these ones here, these are as long as the top. So the top board up here is 24 inches. So they're 24 inches long by 4 inches. And then what I did is, let me pull this back off here. I don't got a lot of room. And what I did is I just did a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. And I measured 1/2 inch coming down, and I put a mark. Okay, and then I measured over, oh no, sorry, 1.5 inches down and 1.5 inches in, and then that's how I got this angle, and I just put this across here. So it actually comes out to a 30-degree angle cut. That's what it comes out to, and they're square on the side, so you don't have to cut those. So these will be the ones that go here on the side of the 24 inch, and they're both 24 inches. You know what I'm saying? And then what you have left is the small little spacers. Let's just call them spacers, but I'll pull this back up here. And what you have left is these two little small boards. Now, you can make these any size you want. I mean, this is basically, I got a couple of them different. It's like 6 inches long. You can go 5 inches long. As long as you don't go 9 inches long, unless you want 9 inches. But you do want them long enough that this board here is going to, set on it. But it's okay to have them a little overhang. It looks kind of neat, in a way. But you don't want this board kind of hanging over, so you don't want it really small. You just want it just a little bit bigger. So that's actually 6 inches across there. And then the width and such, you can just make it whatever you want. I know each one of the time I do it, something's a little bit different, but basically they go under here like this. Pretty neat. And then I staple and glue. Depends on where I'm going to put it. Of course, I've sold a couple of these, but I usually just put them, if we're working on something, we'll stick them out. You can stick them out in front of your house, what I mean? It's, I don't think they're really good in the rain. Let me show you just a little bit more. You can take a look at this one. You can see the insides, and then I hope you can see down in here where I had the screws kind of sunk down in. Really nice. Let me show you a finished product that I've done. One of them I got completely finished. You can paint them. You can paint these any color you want, especially for like inside of a house. Now, what I did with this one is this has a bond coat, and it's gray. You can use them bond coat brown, green. Green looks good. There's a lot of different colors you can put on a bond coat. So I put a bond coat, and then I put 2 coats of white on top of it. Over top of it after they dried. You do one coat first. I did my gray first, and then I let it dry, and then I went back out and I did a white, and then I let it dry and come up, did another white. And then after I got that done, I don't know if you can see, but it looks like it's you can see the gray and stuff coming through the boards, things like that. It kind of makes it look like antique, old, something like that. Puts a little character to it. So, and what I did, I took a sander here. I have a palm sander I took the palm sander over top of, but I used 120 grit paper on it. I actually did that right before, okay? Before I decided to paint it, I put 120 grit sandpaper on it, and I sanded the whole thing down with that 120. And then it gave it a little bit smoother finish when I get ready to put this here down, the paint itself. And then after I got it set up and dry, because you want to make sure the paint dries pretty good, because you're going to end up sanding it. I mean, you know, you don't want to, you don't want it to peel back up. You want it to, sand off. Once that was done, all I did was took some. You can use anything like a good. This is a little old. I'm going to get some new. It's just finishing wax. You can buy this pretty much anywhere. It's made by Minute Wax, and it's like a protector and a polisher. That's what I did here. So I just kept buffing it. Put it on there and buff it, and took a couple rags and wiped it off, and it comes out really, really smooth and gives it kind of a little bit of satin kind of look. Because when you run the sander over it, you take the shine out of the paint. So by putting this back on it, a little bit of this, kind of bring it back in it. But you can see it's kind of gives it an old look and stuff. So yeah, really simple, easy, not much wood at all. I mean, like I said, you can do it with a 1x10, 8-foot, and one fence board. That's basically, and you're going to have leftovers for sure, especially on both of them. But you'll have plenty of wood. It don't take very much time. Normally, what I do is I have, 4 or 5 of them ready to go, and all my wood and everything together like this. And then I set this off to the side, and then I have like 4 or 5, and then I just start putting them together. So if you're looking for something for the holidays and you like to go ahead and decorate it, like my wife does, she has her own, of course, and she loves decorating for the holidays. So this would come in really handy. It would be a surprise for your wife or somebody that would like it, even a good friend. Make really good gifts too, and very inexpensive. I'd say it just takes a little bit of time. It takes more probably doing a painting than it does putting it together. So if you got any comments, just leave them down below, and please subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.